My name is Ngini Nasongo. I'm a consultant counseling psychologist and a counselor trainer, counselor supervisor, and so many other things that I do outside counseling. And so yes, that is what I do. So when I say I'm a trainer, I train those who want to become counselors. I'm called Mwalimu in other words. Ngini Nasongo is also the founder of FARIJI Counseling and Empowerment Organization, where we support a lot of people psychologically, and we also empower them on how to learn to live on their own, to tap into their own internal resources, because you as a human being always has something within you that you can use to help you develop, you know. So that is what we do. Now, in the kind of work that I do, that I would call supporting people, I work with a guy called Kiarie. Kiarie helps me connect with like ex-offenders, people from committee, people who have been jailed in different prisons, and ladies who have gone through so much in this life. So, you know, like people from prison have a lot of challenges. One, as individuals themselves, and then two, society. Accepting them back to the society, it becomes very difficult. Some of them have shared that indeed they had a lot of tough experiences while they were at in the prison. So they're like, when I come out, what do I do? Where do I go? My own people don't even want me. I'm just useless. But we tell them, no, you're not useless. Something good can always come out of you, so long as we now start preparing you mentally, which we do. And some of them are actually very good now. They're doing that. Yeah, they're doing well.
My name is Mwangi, the team lead at FARIJI. FARIJI is an organization that deals with sports as a transformational tool within community. We started our journey at the community maximum prison. We started our journey when we realized there are a lot of men who were getting incarcerated and they didn't have a tool that would give them together. So the year 2009, former President Kibaki commuted from death row to life imprisonment inmates. Amongst them, there were former footballers, Kenyan footballers. So in the course of my work, I used to work for MultiChoice, Kenya Limited, Supersport. I used to do a lot of live OB production. And each time I could see there are guys who were in the field, then hatuwaoni tena. So we had a chance to go to committee, we saw them, and therein we started Committee United Football Club in committee, the year 2009. So fast forward, we started by giving them soccer balls, organizing their teams. They have a league inside there. Then 2014, we had the GoTV had what was called Digitica, moving from analog to digital. So my bosses then were kind enough to give me a GoTV and a TV to take to committee. And that began a conversation about sports and how then sports became a powerful platform and a tool that would then bring people together. So 2015, we started the journey by organizing football matches within the prison facility. In the same year, we also started bringing community clubs from outside to go to committee. Then we could have those mentorship sessions inside the prison facilities.
Ideally, when I have a client, for example, I can have a client as early as 7 o'clock in the morning. Nowadays, a lot of things are happening online. So 7 o'clock, I'll be seated at my desk in my house and run a session. For example, a group, maybe I'm doing what we call debrief, maybe they lost somebody, maybe someone has been diagnosed with corona, especially around this time. So I run that program from the house. I do pro bono. Yeah, you need to know that first. So we go to, like, for example, if you've gone to Kawangware, there is usually a social hall. So while some of them are playing football, not everybody plays football. So while we engage them with football, I'll be having a session with one of them. And they tell me what it is they are going through. Some of them have harrowing stories. Yeah, the experiences they had, you know, when they were locked, or when they are still inmates. And some of them share the stories they had prior to being arrested. And you know, we go quite a bit. So when we are supporting them, or when I'm doing my counseling, I don't just focus on one thing. Like I said, we look at what led you into this. Then there's so much to cover, you know, within that period. So the session is not just one. So we agree. We talk after this 1 hour. Probably if it's the first time, I get to know. We let them talk. Then I'm able to pick what we call themes from what they have talked about. Low self-esteem. Maybe they have had losses. They lost a mother, a father, stuff like that. There are those who are married when they were going in. When they come back, the wife already has 3 different children from different men. So how do I cope with that? You know, when I left my house here. Now I don't know where they are. You know, quite a number of things. So I will pick that and then ask, okay, you mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4 things. What would you like us to address first? Okay, so that is how we do it systematically.
Sports, we say, sports cuts across age, gender, religion, and even social status. So if sports is the glue, it is a universal language, then counseling is the currency that now mixes it up. So therein, we had conversations, met my friend Ngini and colleague Ngini, then, and we started the conversations. So by the year 2019, most of the convicts now were being released back to the society. And that means issues of rehabilitation, reintegration, and reform. Because after spending 10 years, 15 years inside, one of the things you'd not like outside is to come out, then you have to go back again. So that is where we started in 2019, a football team. That football team, we called it Team X, X for X. We have a WhatsApp group. I think we are 37 now. They are all X. We have a football team. COVID came, it slowed us down, but the idea was use the team, the football team, to go back to the community. Make them accountable by bringing them together and address their issues jointly. The year 2015, we started inviting community clubs to visit committee. Our idea being, why don't we have a conversation about the community and the youth and use the inmates themselves as our ambassadors to talk to them about various youth issues, the drugs, and most importantly, why they are there, why they are incarcerated. So 2015, we had those kind of engagements, and we upscaled. Then we started to organize themed events. Like 2016 and 2017, we had Valentine Day inside Committee Prison. We invited the children of the inmates to go and visit their daddies inside. It was a huge step because, one, it was then a reconnect, a family reconnect. Most of the inmates had left their young ones when they were pretty young, and that is where the whole issues of counseling then started to come up, because these guys were inside there, locked, they were going through their appeals, and eventually they would come out. Here were their sons who have had the chance to visit their parents inside, their daddies inside, and going back to society, they had a lot of mixed emotions. So issues of counseling, issues of what happens after they come out, what happens about the dysfunctional families. They left because most of them, they went in and their girlfriends / wives remarried and got other kids. So those are some of the conversations that started happening. June 2017, we celebrated Father's Day at Naivasha Maximum Prison. It was another huge moment for us because then we realized there's actually a disconnect between the inside community and when they are outside, and the gap. And sports for us was the glue that fueled it. It was the glue that brought them together.
In counseling, there is what we call therapeutic movement. That's what you're saying. Are you able to tell if someone has changed? So what happens, the first day I meet this person, I let them talk. By the way, many of them will really cry because, you know, we are trying kind of poking a wound that probably they thought was healing. So you provoke those thoughts, and this person now starts crying and crying and crying and crying. Remember, we are only contracted to be together for 1 hour. So the person can cry for as long as 30 minutes. Okay. Then they share what they want to share. Okay. They share what they want to share. So we agree that I have listened to you. I have heard 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Then I will encourage them and say, in fact, the fact that you even wanted to open up is good enough for you. This is the beginning of the journey. This is the beginning of your healing. I want you to think about a doctor. Okay? We could all be seated here. Each one of us looks fine. How would a doctor know that you have a problem? So when you feel like you have a problem, what do? You go to see that doctor, right? So it's just the same with us counselors or psychologists. I cannot come to you and say, now you girl, I've looked at you and I'm thinking you have depression. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. Because someone needs to be comfortable to start with, to come and say they have an issue. So when we go to, like, for example, when we are doing these campaigns, mental health campaigns, creating awareness, we talk. And then we say, anyone who feels like they want to be seen privately or individually, please come over. Then I'll go and sit in some room, secluded, private, quiet. That person will come. We say, without mental health, honestly, there's no health. Okay? I want to imagine, as probably you've been in this situation, or maybe you've never, but you know, you have 1,000,001 things to think about. Yeah? You found yourself in that situation. And you're like, I can't just move, you know? You can't move because your head is processing so much. You've got this thought, for example, you are a mother, you don't have school fees, like now everyone is crying they don't have fees. You've got rent to pay. Huyu mzee anaishi na nyumba yako, you know, in the name of a husband, is not playing the role of a husband or a father for that matter. There's so much happening around you. You can't function. You know, eventually you'll not even do anything because you're just seated there. So what we do and why we emphasize mental health is that if you are not thinking straight, nothing else is going to work right.
Yeah. So issues then started to revolve around the boy child. The statistics are those ones. You've had 92%. Then COVID came. Statistics from COVID say 71% of COVID deaths are men. Then World Health Organization, last year, August, they said mental health is part of the non-communicable diseases. Previously, there were 4 known non-communicable diseases: cardiovascular, chronic respiratory, cancer, and diabetes. Mental health has been added. That means if out here we are having issues of mental health, imagine people from the prison coming out to the community. Number 2, the visitations, curfew, lockdown were hard on everyone here. How much harder was it for inside who are not being visited by their loved ones? So it's a combination of those that brought about the need to have structured conversations with ex-convicts out here. Having a football team was just one soft way of a platform to bring them together. But then we also realized there are also other areas of engagement, like arts. Personally, in another world, I was also in drama and theater. I was part of Machachari. I was actually Baba Almasi for three seasons. So I have a bit of that end. And that end was also a powerful end. We wrote down the scripts with Naomi Kamau, my friend, and we had Machachari, which was basically a conversation between haves and haves not, Wadosi, and we see how the children are the ones who made the parents come together. So out here, we also said, From the inside, we had performing arts inside the prisons. Why don't we also out here try to bring them together in theater, in spoken word? And those are the conversations that have been ongoing to date. Those are the conversations that we use the counseling and therapy sessions for those kind, because it's a form of expression.
Sometimes when you talk about corporate social responsibility, that's what I normally feel like I have given back to society, that which God has blessed me with. And by the way, when we are talking about the people we help, it's not just people from the jail, like ex-offenders. We also work with caregivers, especially cancer, I like giving examples of mamas, because those are the people I find in hospital when I visit. These women have gone there, probably alikuwa na mtoto wake, they thought they'll just be told this, prescribed a drug and go home. But they find themselves in the ward 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So we talk to them, because many times people will focus on the sick. They don't pay attention to this person who is helping this sick person. So we help them. Sometimes I go to Isli with the help of a few of my friends, changa, then we go to buy those to deraderas. Then I take to this woman, because she came with one dress, thinking that she was going back. Then she has stayed for all that period. Aki hana nguo ya kuchange. It feels very sad. So yes, that is also one thing we do. So what I do is help them psychologically, sometimes prepare them that there is a possibility that this child will not survive. But there's also a very high chance that they will survive. Whichever way it goes, just have an open mind. But they feel good because they feel like at least someone is talking to me. It also gives me a lot of satisfaction.
People say crime does not pay. It is true. But to the growing youth, we also tell you, you need to have a constant direction in your life. Constant direction does not mean academic. Nowadays, the government is driving what is called TVET institution. Si lazima si wote tutoshe university. Si lazima si wote tukue number 1. There are people with different skills. The youth today, you need to get your skill. You need to learn your skills. We have seen people take up music as a skill, swimming, even sports, and people have excelled. So to the growing youth, advice, take up, learn your skill.
There is hope, there is always hope, and it's always important that you seek help.